Welcome to the bottom of the barrel. To all you grubby groupers and floundering fans, to another edition of the Bottom Feeders podcast, the first podcast dedicated to the last. Sit back and enjoy the blast, the rush of watching our team shrivel in the clutch, or not showing up in games that mean so much. Here at the bottom, we talk about it all, every decision that led us to our downfall.
The backside of Brandon Moore will knock the ball out.
Quarterback arm going forward.
Welcome to the Bottom Feeders.
And we are live. Episode 5 of the Bottom Feeders podcast. Carson here alongside Malcolm. Malcolm, how you doing today?
What's good, people? How y'all doing?
We are back with another episode of the Bottom Feeders podcast, as you heard, dedicated to the last, especially in the football world. Many of us have struggles with fantasy and real-life football fandoms. And if this is your first time listening, we're here to talk about those, create a safe space, for everyone struggling.
All are welcome.
All are welcome. Even Titans fans, Browns fans. We got Jets and Raiders fans here. So we feel it. We also struggle with fantasy as well. We've been in the same league for, 14 years now, Malcolm? That's been?
It's been a while. It's been a long, long while.
A long while. And yet, over the last 10 years, we have 0 championships. And I believe 0.
Emphasis on 10.
10? You got one 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But
it's a long time. It's a decade.
Yeah.
Full decade.
Since then, we've been on quite the dry spell. I have none in this league. We have 0 top 3 finishes, at least since 2018. That's as far as our data goes back. And
Darn you, ESPN data.
yeah. We kept having to restart the league a few times, with finding that 12th member, going back and forth.
Shout out to the 12th man.
12th man right here, Tyler Lockett. Go Seattle. If you are watching us on YouTube, we're gonna have some cool stuff we're gonna be trying out for the first time this week. So bear with us as we go through some new potential video effects, lighting, camera shots, all that fun stuff. If
We're
you're
gonna
listening,
try some things.
yeah, it's gonna be cool potentially. Give us time to figure it out, but we're working. We're in the tank. But yeah, so one of the things we've been doing recently here on this show is trying to figure out where we go wrong in terms of fantasy, and how much of it is the draft and how much of it is our start-sit decisions that everyone has to make every single week. And Malcolm, how do you think you've been doing with your start-sits?
In a 12-team league, I think we've been doing all right. There's always room for improvement, but honestly, I think this has been one of my best seasons ever as far as making the right call. This last week, I had a call that, we might talk about a little bit later that was very close. And for once, it worked out the way I at least expected it to. It did not result in a win, but what can you do? Shout out to Jackson Smith-Shigba. Thanks for doing that against me this week. Appreciate you, man.
JSN really has been ruining people's fantasy seasons, except if you own him week in and week out this year.
Must be great for you,
Been
whoever
brutal.
you are.
So part of the thought experiment we've been doing is putting ourselves in the shoes of other members of our league, and seeing if we had a better
small
roster,
feat.
a different roster, we could be having success. So with the last couple of weeks, we've been doing our start sits, each team in the league, with the toughest decision. Malcolm, you struggled last week. You ready for this?
Oh, Lord.
You finished with 3 correct decisions out of 8.
George Kittle.
Yeah. I did not do too much better. I had 5 correct decisions out of 8. So since we started keeping track,
that's an improvement, though.
better than 3 for 10 for
Better
sure.
than last week. That's what I keep track of as a Raider fan. Always. Better than last week? Okay. We can work with that.
Sometimes that's all you can ask for, is just improvement. So right now I am 8 for 18 with our start sits for 44%. How do you think you're doing?
8 for 18. If you are 8 for 18, damn. That's 9 for 18?
Exactly right.
50%? Yeah.
9 for 18. You are 50-50.
Hey, I was a film major. Anytime we do well on the math, we shout it out.
9 for 18 is 50%. The league as a whole, now sometimes the league ends up getting some washes where like they started up like we have some situations where we record on Wednesday, player gets ruled out Saturday, so doesn't necessarily
Injuries
count
happen.
because they have an easier decision. So right now the league is 7.5 for 14. And I'm sure you're
Damn.
asking, what's the half about?
Well,
We had one decision last week where we were torn between we needed to start one of these three players. If you remember this one, it was Kareem Hunt,
I'll stand
Bam
up for
Knight,
this.
or Devin Singletary.
Talk to the people.
And we were like, all right, we need to start one of these two people or three people. The player in our
And who
league,
do we go with?
I chose Hunt, which was the right choice.
Okay.
You chose Singletary, which was the
Damn.
worst choice.
Obviously.
And the person in our league started both Hunt and Singletary.
Why? Were they listening? Are you
So
listening?
they figured one of us has to end up being right and hedge their bets, I guess. So like
And if you are
half a
listening, you
point for
clearly
that one.
aren't listening.
So that does mean the league, giving them the half point for that one, is at
Shout out to the league.
53.57%. So we were both losing to everyone else.
Isn't this what the show is about?
We we are living up to our name as the bottom feeders, Malcolm. That is certainly true.
Hey, but it's a comeback story. It's a true
Yeah.
underdog story. This is that Baker Mayfield movie.
Yeah.
Shout out, coming to a Lifetime channel near you.
Each new week, though, is a chance for us to maybe build off our poor performance, build off our record. So, with that, let's jump right
Aggression.
into it. You ready, Malcolm?
Let's get it. Let's do it.
First start sit decision. Start one of these three players.
What we got?
Chris Godwin, still coming back from injury against the Cardinals.
Okay.
Romeo Dobbs against the Lions.
Hmm. Okay.
Xavier Worthy against Dallas. Start one.
Oh, well. I was analyzing some decisions I've made in the past, and specifically the waiver wire choices have been affecting me thus far based on my when they play as opposed to who they play. And if I had to make a choice out of all those options, the players, they're okay. Chris Godwin, I have some thoughts about. Definitely have some thoughts about Dobbs. I like Jordan Love, especially coming back. It seems like they're finding their rhythm on the Packers side, but don't know how much to trust that. Worthy and anybody in the Chiefs offense. We have been betting against them and or for them week to week on the show and just in general, seemingly everybody this season. I'll never root for the Chiefs necessarily, but as far as fantasy success for Worthy this week, I take Worthy against the Cowboys on Thursday. That also might get some points on the board on Thursday, and then I can kind of figure out my matchups and my lineup a little bit better for the rest of the weekend. So I would go with Worthy
Interesting.
in this
You're going
situation.
Worthy on a Thanksgiving Day matchup. I'm going Dobbs. I know Dobbs struggled last week,
We talked about
um,
this last week too. Yeah,
but I love Dobbs. I'm a big Dobbs believer.
I
But
believe in him too.
sure, last week he struggled, but also they were winning that game so quickly by so much against Minnesota that they didn't even throw the ball. They threw the ball like 14 times. I guess a team like Detroit, that's not going to happen again. They're going to throw the ball more. Dobbs is going to get more looks. I got to believe in my guy, Romeo.
Next.
Um, Next one. Now, this one is interesting. It's a little backstory here. I'm sure if you've been listening since day one, you know I've had Malik Washington for a while.
What you got for us, Carson?
On Sunday night, once my opponent's kicker got ruled out on Monday night in a close game, I had to
Kickers
dr
matter.
I had to drop one of my players on bye week to pick up the only available kicker that was still had a game to play to try and block my opponent.
And who
Um,
was that?
so I picked up, I think, the Panthers guy, Fitzgerald, I think his name is.
Oh, this week?
But I had to drop someone. I had to drop this man, Malik Washington, because he was on bye, and he immediately got picked up on waivers and is now featured in our start sit. So we got Malik Washington against the Saints, or Zach Charbonnet against the Vikings.
Um, Gonna go Malik Washington. Make this quick.
Yep, I went with him too. He gets like a 2 to 3 points every week from return yards, the floor, the injuries with the Dolphins pass catchers. Sure, Sharp is a touchdown machine, but give me Malik.
Hell
All right,
yeah.
next one. There's a team in our league who is in tight end heaven or hell. You decide. Um, I got 4 options for you because all 4 are playable.
Wait, what?
4 options at tight end. Start 1. Hunter Henry against the Giants.
This is already sounding like tumultuous territory. Continue.
Brenton Strange back from injury for the Jaguars. He
Stranger
was
Things.
he was an off-season favorite, kind of got hurt, but now he's back against the Titans. Oronde Gadsden against your Las Vegas Raiders,
A rendezvous.
or Jake Ferguson against the Chiefs.
Fergie Fresh. Fergie Licious. Um,
One, who you got?
One of them is a legitimate starting tight end. One of them is a blocking tight end. One of them is emerging as a I guess number one tight end, and the other one is coming back from injury. But
Big
it's the
question mark.
Jaguars, so they might utilize him as a big part of that offense in this reemergence.
Yeah,
How many do I have to start and how many do I have to sit?
you got to
Just
sit
one.
3. Start 1.
This one, if I
Yep.
just got to pick one of those options, I hate that you're doing this to me. I hate that you're doing this to me. That's 2 Cowboys, Carson. You better not be a third. If Dak is somewhere in this starting sit, I'm telling you that man is gonna be on the bench. But we're gonna go with Jake Ferguson this week.
Jake Ferguson against the Chiefs on Thanksgiving.
Who you got?
I'm going with Gadsden.
Oh my God,
That Raiders defense is not looking good.
Sir.
Quentin Johnston's role in that offense keeps getting less and less and less each week. Keenan
Are you
Allen's
gonna bet
role,
against the Raiders defense right now? Right now, of all times in the season, we have
Absolutely.
finally proven that we cannot be trusted. So now you pick against us?
Here's what we talked about
This
this
is the
last
exact
week.
type of moment when a Raiders defense rebounds, right?
were
When
talking
everybody
about
stops
this.
believing in them. Max Crosby's going to have 8 sacks this week.
Sure, he can have 8 sacks, but guess what? You still got torched by Shador Sanders. Like let's call it like it is.
I
Uh,
did see the game this week.
and I think Herbert, with the pass rush, you have no one, you have no linebacker that can cover a fast, big tight end well. Going with
We did
Gadsden.
let Robert Spillane walk out the door. We did. We
Yep,
did.
you did.
That's
All right. Next one. This is going to be a different thing than we've done before. This is not a comparison because I look at this guy's roster. You could start like 6 potential guys on this team as opposed to this player. So the
Okay.
question is, do you start this star player coming back from injury with a backup quarterback?
Ooh.
Start or
Ooh.
sit Terry McLaurin against the Denver defense?
Hell no.
You sit in him. So I think we measure this. I was trying to think of a good number, um, where the right answer is like 9 points. Like
Okay.
less than 9 points, sit wins. More than 9 points in a half PPR league, start wins.
This is an easy win.
Hey, but
Marcus Mariota is not to be trusted. We done been through this exercise a couple weeks ago. Okay?
yeah,
That
but
Commanders offense does not look the same. Scary Terry, I forgot you was out, brother. I'll be honest with you, because you were non-existent when you were there. And it wasn't your fault. This is like
he's
watching Garrett Wilson before the Garrett Wilson injury. I'm like, damn. Like, dog, I don't even know why you're out there at this point.
but sometimes you got to gamble on talent. So if this player, this team in our league does start him, I wouldn't blame him.
No.
Like he's talented as heck, but I personally chose to sit as well. I'd rather start some random receiver of the Texans, whether it's Higgins, Noel, whichever one I think they had on their roster. But all right.
We've been through this before too. I don't like agreeing with you this much. You know what this means for both of us.
Yeah. All right, here's a fun one. My guy, John Mechie,
Oh,
Jets new receiver 1 against the Falcons.
hey.
DeAndre Swift against the Eagles or Kyle Monangai against
Oh,
the Eagles. You can pick your Bears
no.
running back or pick John Mechie.
Mechie, all the way. Let's go.
Yeah.
Take me to the Greenland.
I will say Monangai's been looking phenomenal. I think he's getting a bigger and bigger role in this offense, even with Swift back.
Look, if there was a time to benefit off the fantasy progression of a Rutgers running back, learn from Pacheco. It's right now. You take Manungai and you run with it because the second season he may not look the same in this Ben Johnson offense. He may look very
Yeah.
similar to DeAndre Swift in that Rams offense before DeAndre Swift got moved several times before he found his footing
Lions
again.
offense, but yes,
Lions,
yeah.
yes.
But
That whole trade was very confusing.
crazy.
It was interesting to see how many players are moving. Next,
Yeah.
let's do it.
All right, next one. Um, I hate to do this to you, but it is a question because he has been balling out. This guy threw, I think, 4 interceptions last week and still had 20 plus fantasy points. So Trevor Lawrence against the
Okay.
Titans or Justin Herbert against the Raiders.
Oh, okay. Okay. See, I would be more offended if you asked me about Dak. And um,
Hey, Dak
don't you
cost me
dare
a
look at that
game.
list. Don't you dare look at that list. Oh no.
Dak
Um,
cost me a game last week. I went up against Dak and Pickens and lost by less than 2 points.
this
Crushing
that sounds
stuff.
about Dak. Um, sh- Shout out to Dakota Rain. Um, shoot, man, I'm going with Herbert because you can't trust Trevor Lawrence, right? Like, I want to. I really do want to. But how you throw 4 picks in a game twice and win the game? That needs to be studied. Trevor Lawrence's response to adversity is honestly something that needs to be replicated everywhere.
Yeah, maybe it was 3 picks and a fumble. I feel like it was 4 turnovers though, because I was watching a lot
The
of that
idea
game.
you turned the ball over 4 times, you are absolutely right, sir.
Yeah,
Like,
it's insane.
it's
I also
impeccable.
chose Herbert, but I don't love it. I think
No,
with both these quarterbacks, they're in a
downtrend.
situation where like Lamar Jackson last week versus the Jets. You know their team's gonna win by a lot. No offense. Um, so if you don't score the early touchdowns, they're not going to score a lot of fantasy points because they're just going to run the ball. Lamar Jackson finished with 7 fantasy points versus the Jets. Just because Derrick Henry just happened to get those first 2 touchdowns.
Derrick Henry looked like Derrick Henry last week, and
I
that was
mean,
scary to see.
he played against the Jets defense. Like
Uh-uh,
it's not
uh-uh.
hard.
Look, Derrick Henry is not one of those players where it's just like a matchup to matchup basis. When he starts to get in rhythm, it don't matter who he's playing. It seems like the Ravens offensive line, which was struggling to run the ball in the beginning of the season, is finding its foot. And this is the
He's a,
second or third week that this has happened. He's just more productive against the Jets.
I disagree. I think Derrick Henry versus the Jaguars is the best running back in NFL history. I mean, you remember those iconic stiff arms, those like 90-yard touchdowns. I think if Derrick Henry played the Jaguars 17 games a year, he could have 2,500 rushing yards.
You could say the
There's a
same thing
s-
about T.Y. Hilton.
yeah,
Hilton.
yeah. There's
There are certain players in those
something about
divisional
Derrick Henry,
matchups.
Derrick Henry and the Jaguars. It was like you might remember this.
The
Darren
Jaguars versus the
McFadden,
Chargers, though. You know,
Darren
whatever reason.
McFadden versus the Jets went off
Yes.
every single year.
I actually remember that Darren McFadden game a lot more because of that Maurice Jones-Drew performance in a couple years later, where I was like,
Yep.
Hall of Fame running back. Damn, what are they doing to my man's?
Yeah. But all right, you asked for it. Your wish is granted. Dak Prescott versus the Chiefs. Or now we did this one last week. This player ended up getting ruled out last minute, or after we recorded. But let's assume he plays this week, this time.
Come on,
Dak Prescott versus the Chiefs or Jackson
we're going
Dart against the
Jackson Dart.
Patriots.
Jackson Dart. And
Wow.
I hope that I'm wrong, but
Um,
Jackson Dart. I know I'm wrong. Jackson Dart.
I chose Dart as well. So right now we have
Give me some
one,
rushing
two,
yards to make
three,
me right.
four. Right now we have 5 of the same decisions so far. Um,
We said we were gonna get better together,
hey,
and
this is it. This
we
is what
might do that, and
improvement.
we might not.
This is
So
growth.
this is growth.
All right. I got a bench one. So I'm going to give you three names. You're going to choose
Okay.
one player to bench.
What are we working with?
Coming back from injury, Marvin Harrison Jr. against the
Okay.
Bucks.
Interesting.
DK Metcalf against the Bills. Don't know who's playing quarterback yet.
Tougher.
Dallas Goddard versus the
Mm,
Bears.
I don't
Bench
want nothing
one.
to do with that Eagles passing game. We benching Goddard. Every time
Really?
I've been presented with the decision to bench Goddard, that one I know has rung true. So
It worked out 2 weeks ago when it came up, but this time I'm going with Metcalf. I watched most of that Steelers game this week,
he has that
and
ankle injury. That might be smart. He might be also get ruled out too.
he might, but right now he's on track to
Either way,
play.
he'll be limited.
Nursing an injury, potentially Mason Rudolph again at quarterback.
I rock with that decision too.
Give me
Um,
Goddard over Metcalf. Like
you
that's
never know.
all
You
right.
never know.
Fun one. On the same vein. Now that Marvin Harrison is back, do you want to start Michael Wilson, who has been going off,
Fuck no.
and Michael Wilson against Tampa, or you might say yes, hear me out. Uh, Alvin Kamara is back up. Devin Neal against the Dolphins, with Alvin Kamara likely out.
Our league is brutal.
Hey,
Man,
that's
give me Michael Wilson
all
in
right.
Bizarre World. Oh
Devin
my
Neal did all
gosh.
right. I was like, he doesn't look bad,
I want no parts of that Saints offense. I don't even know if I want to watch the Saints play football.
but he's gonna get volume, you know. He's gonna
From
get.
a fantasy perspective, there's nothing worse than knowing you have to watch this bad game with intent and focus, knowing that every snap of this horrible football game, your entire fantasy season is reliant upon.
That's true. Saints Dolphins might be up there for one of the
That is a
worst
bad
games of the
matchup. Did you
year.
watch the Madrid game? Because I had some fantasy interest. Waddle was going off, so I
I
ended up watching more of that game than I would have wanted to, and that
I
was a
did
horrible
I did
game to
watch
have to
that game.
watch. Hey,
Previous
Juan,
podcast listeners, if you're watching on YouTube,
wanna do this what I wanna.
you just met my cat. She is an interesting character. She decided to choose. She stepped on the keyboard, and she actually changed my choice from Michael Wilson to Devin Neal. So I'll be
This is your
going
choice
with
now.
Devin Neal. Yeah, she actually legit deleted.
Intervention.
All right, so I'm going Devin Neal, and we got one more for you, Malcolm. One more
One more.
tight end spot. You can choose another guy coming back from injury. Seems to be the theme, but that is kind of the toughest decisions. Do you trust the guy coming back from injury, or do you trust the less talented player? So tight end Dalton Kincaid likely playing again this week after missing the last week or two with injury. Dalton Kincaid against Pittsburgh, or Jets legend in the making, Mason Taylor against the Falcons.
Oh, that Falcons defense. Earlier, you picked against that Raiders defense, but I'm telling you, if there's one unit that is weaker than the Raiders defense, it is that Falcons defense. And gotta have to pick Mason Taylor. Dalton Kincaid is definitely a certifiable number one tight end, but after coming back from injury for a couple weeks, we don't know what Josh Allen's going to do every week. He's MVP, having an MVP type season, sure, numbers and
So,
production and 6 touchdowns per week, but I'm not trusting Dalton Kincaid to get any of that production because I am a Keon Coleman owner. So
well, but
uh,
but here's what I'll say though, and I picked Mason Taylor as well, just because in a different league I've started Dalton Kincaid when he came back from injury earlier this year, and it was rough. He didn't get a lot of snaps. It's kind of wears me, but with Mason Taylor, you got to deal with Tyrod Taylor throwing the football. With Kincaid, you've seen that Bills offense without him. They've kind of like fallen apart. The Bills look bad. They need some juice. Kincaid can be the guy to bring that juice. You know what? I'm talking myself into it. I'm going to change my vote to Kincaid because I
okay,
think they
two straight
need.
decisions where you went back.
Well, one of them was my cat's doing, but but
It was one intervention. Come on.
I'm going to go
There's
with
gonna be a lot
Kincaid.
more of that, and I hope every time Juan intervenes, we go with Juan's word.
Hey, we'll see how it goes. But I'm going with Kincaid. I
This
just
time,
think
trust your gut, though. I believe in
the
it.
the Bills need some juice to get that team back on track. They kind of look like they've fallen apart.
I forget what the
Um,
decision was earlier, but we went with the number one, I think, collectively there too. So
yeah,
going with the number one option, the definitive number one option is never going to be a silly thing to do.
exactly. So, all right. So that's it for this week. Next week we're gonna go over and see how we did.
Start
Um,
and sit.
like I said, for reference, I am running at a 44% accuracy rate. Malcolm's running at a 50% accuracy rate,
Hey,
and our league mates, 'cause we're choosing decisions off their own rosters. They're at 54%. So hopefully we catch back up to them, but we'll see.
John Cena.
With that, we're gonna transition to one of our favorite segments, dreams and nightmares of the week. Malcolm, why don't you remind the people uh, who your dream was last week?
Carson, I just got, I don't know. I'm gonna lay down. I'm gonna lay down. I gotta lay down for this.
All right, all right, all right. It seems like Malcolm's having a moment over here. Well, he gets ready, then I'll remind you guys all what my dream was last week. It was Christian Watson. I was really excited about him, and he did okay. I think he eclipsed over 70 yards, but it wasn't enough. Like I said, I lost by a point and a half, and I feel like I could have gone a different route. Maybe something else could have worked out, and it cost me a very important game, dropping me to 6-6, and now I'm
Over
fighting for
shit,
my life right now.
discombobulated. It's all a symptom of the Raiders. It's all a symptom of my fantasy decisions. You know, I'm
Tell
really,
us
really
about it.
struggling. My nightmare this week isn't even somebody on my team. I happen for once in fantasy to make all of the right decisions, perhaps from a start sit perspective. But then JSN happened, and he scored an absurd amount of points, which he's a number one receiver. That's happened before. But the worst part about this week, Carson?
Let's hear it.
The kicker's duel. Because it wasn't just any kicker duel. Can you check for me how many points did Jesse Bates have this week?
He finished with 12. Not bad. Not bad.
Sounds like a lot for a kicker. Or at least a good amount. How many points did my opponent's kicker have this week?
Andy Borregales, Miami legend. Go Canes. Andy Borregales finished with 18
Mhm.
fantasy points.
Right. Right. And how much did his defense have again? I forget.
The Cardinals defense had 17 fantasy points.
Right. So they combined for almost over 30 points too. So that means I was minus 60 points going into most of this matchup. It was a tough week. So
And
if
you
I had to pick
lost.
one nightmare, it'd probably be my entire opposing team. Yeah, put it that way.
The the crazy thing is, I mean, your dream last week was Kyle Pitts,
It
who
was.
and you
How'd
were
that work
starting.
out for me?
Well, you were torn between Kyle Pitts or Dalton Schultz in that
Mhm.
flex spot. And hey, Kyle Pitts did score over 2 points more than Dalton Schultz,
You did.
and he
You
finished with
did.
3.5 points.
I didn't trust Texans. I didn't. So it seems like Davis Mills' run is over.
Davis Mills had his moment, and it's but they beat the Bills, so he's still having his moment. Like it's a defensive
Oh, they
battle,
are
sure, but a win's a
4 and
win.
0. You're right,
Yeah,
man. So you mean
but
to tell me everything is going right for all the teams that I picked as well, but except my fantasy team? Huh.
no, don't
That's
worry.
perspective.
Your actually of fantasy players you started, only three players as teams got the win that last week.
Huh.
It was
So it's bad for everybody.
Cavante Turpin, Kyle Pitts, and Bates, the kicker, all won their matchups. But
And
Jalen
Turpin
Hurts,
was my
Ashton
manic
Genty,
move of the week. You know,
all right,
I saw him on the waiver wire. And I was like, man, that's the guy. That's the guy. He's going to score a touchdown this week. And I don't know if you saw his big play this week. He had a couple big plays, but there was
Yeah.
one particular big play where he scored a touchdown and then he decided to fumble. It was
I missed that
rough.
one. But man, I think the thing with your team is as a Justin Jefferson owner, I'm sure Jefferson owners across the country right now, across the world, are ready to fucking murder JJ McCarthy.
Hey man, I saw you at Michigan. You are a Michigan man for sure. Every bit of Tom Brady. I can't really tell
Like, was
if
he like
you
do you
are
remember
just a good leader or a good quarterback. I don't know what the balance
like
is.
he didn't
They
do
all seem
anything in
necessary.
college. He won
Yeah,
games because he had Harbaugh as his coach. He had Blake Corum, right? That was the running back for Michigan.
but like Jackson Dart for the Giants, seemingly, he's an X factor. I don't know what it is about his actual on the field play that makes a difference for that offense. But when it's going right, it's going right. It's seemingly like Sam Darnold too, and Brock Purdy, a momentum thing. The whole organization functions better when they're playing better, and I don't know.
Yeah.
And they don't have the physical tools like those other quarterbacks to kind of like when they're not playing better, to supplant some of the results on the field, and it's okay. I just
Well,
now have to accept my fate is in JJ McCarthy's hands every week because I traded for Justin Jefferson. Could trade it for Jamar Chase. Very similar offer, but Waddle
yeah.
wouldn't have been involved.
And Waddle's been big for you. Waddle's been big in your 6-6 record, which brings us to this week. This week
Great.
is absolute madness. Malcolm, we are head to head. We are head to head in a make or break game. Let's just take a look at what that's looking like right now. Here we go. Both of us are 6-6. Both of us are tied at last
Head to
playoff
head?
spot. Head to head. Here we go.
Huh.
And it's almost in the position with almost only 2 weeks left in the regular season where whichever one of us loses this game might be out of the playoffs. And the winner
I,
might clinch it. So I got the matchup pulled up right here behind me if you can see it. You got oh, this is my team right
Weatherman
here.
Carson.
Let's see if I can figure out the point. You got my team right here, right? This is what we're rocking with, I believe, for the week. Drake May at quarterback.
Okay.
He's been great. Bijan at running back. Chase Brown,
He's been big.
Rasheed Rice, Jawan Jennings, Harold Fannin Jr., who I don't love, but he's been consistent at least. Lad, Travion. I got the Jaguars defense against the Titans, and I got Zane Gonzalez. Over on your side right now, you got Hurts, Genty, Jalen
Warren
Warren,
Hurts, baby.
Justin Jefferson. We got Turpin in your lineup still. Brock
We're gonna probably
Bowers,
make some adjustments.
Jones, Pitts, Ramsey, and Bates. Now, looking at these rosters, my dream for the week um, is going to be Jawan Jennings. I know he's coming off a couple good games, but it's been a theme on our podcast that you don't start players when they go against the Browns defense.
Hmm. Hmm.
Talk about it week in, week out.
If
They
somebody
held
could have warned you.
they held
If
Brock Bowers
only.
to a single digit game.
They
Um,
did.
and I could start Bill. I could start Christian Watson is the big one I could start. Um, against the Lions. And I might change it last minute. We'll see how I feel tomorrow morning before Thanksgiving. But at the moment, whichever one I pick, that's my dream. Is that I need Jawan Jennings or Christian Watson to put up points to kind of counter. Uh, Jalen Hurts could have another 30-point game. Justin Jefferson is still capable of dropping 20 plus any given week. And I need my receivers to play well. And I need that one decision, Jennings or Watson, which right now I'm going with Jennings. So that's my dream of the week, is that even despite a great Browns defense, Jawan Jennings puts up another double-digit fantasy game. And that's what I got.
That is a fantastical fantasy. However, I must say, sir, as I prepare my roster for what is sure to be a tough matchup, I also think that it is likely to be an easy win for Warren Hurts as I
Easy.
set the
Sound.
final uh, additions and changes to the roster. Would you mind hitting that refresh button for me, sir?
Um, Let me see if I can get that going. Mm, Take me a second to,
As you
but
do that, I will place myself a little bit better in a more comfortable position so the folks can hang out. There we go.
yeah.
Ooh.
All right. Let's look at the updated rosters for the matchup. It looks like you got Keenan Allen back in your lineup against your Raiders.
Guess who's back? Back again.
No, I'm not gonna.
Keenan's back. Let me
I
tell you
want
why, friend.
Well, before you start, I just want to acknowledge
Okay.
the fact that not 10 minutes ago, you were just saying how the Raiders secondary, the Raiders defense is looking a lot better. You were trashing me for picking to start the Chargers tight end. And now here you're going out of your way to start Keenan Allen against the same secondary. So let me hear your explanation.
Um, as a Raiders fan, me trashing anybody for picking against us, that's just what I do. That's second nature. Um, as a fantasy football manager, I'm not really sure what I'm about to do with that flex position. So right now, Keenan Allen is definitely a placeholder. But I was looking at your matchup and point to point. If I end up losing out on points wise with Herbert having a bad week, I'm okay with that. I don't know how much I trust Turpin again this week. Uh, he worked out kind of great for me last week, and seemingly sometimes with the waiver wire pickups, I might want to switch it up. So that's why I also selected Hodgins as well to slide into that slot, so that therefore it kind of replaces the production I might have gotten from Turpin this week. He is emerging as a bigger option or a bigger threat in that Giants offense. We talked earlier about going with Dart. I do believe a bit in Dart. I think even though I think he's more going to have a rushing impact this week, but still, Hodgins might score a touchdown for me. That might be a 10-point swing, and that's kind of why everything looks the way it does right now. But everything is subject to change. I'm glad you noted that. I am pretty
Yeah.
fickle with my lineup decisions sometimes.
So if you had to pick a dream right now, is it Keenan Allen? Is that going to be who? Obviously, things can change, but that flex position, that's going to be your dream of the week, whether it's Hodgins or Keenan.
Turpin or Keenan. Um, Yeah, the flex is definitely week to week, probably where I'm going to be keeping my dream. I also would love if Aaron Jones came back and had a monster week again. That would be nice. We were talking about the Viking struggles throwing the ball. I don't know if I'm going to get the production out of Jefferson, but I do
Mm,
dream that I get the production out of Aaron Jones. And I think actually that's what I'm going to end up going with. Aaron Jones this
yeah.
week. Can
Here
you
is
be a,
some
a running back number one for me? I'm not sure what I'm going to get from Genty.
here is some food for thought. Right now, it doesn't show the times they're playing or the days they're playing, but Monday night this week is Patriots Giants, which could be Hodgins in your lineup. It is definitely Drake May and Travion Henderson in my
In
lineup.
yours. And we talked
Um,
about when earlier, and I probably will go with Hodgins then. That kind of solidifies that for the flex decision.
Hey, I mean, it's up to you. Personally, I hope you start Turpin because I don't think Turpin's going to do shit against the Chiefs. But that's just my food for thought for you. I think Turpin's going to be amazing. I take it all back.
I
He's
appreciate
gonna,
your insight, and you know what? No, it's received already.
yeah, you know,
You're
he's gonna
correct,
get
sir.
return yards. He's gonna get like two kick return
As y'all see,
touchdowns.
Carson's a good friend. He's going to help himself lose, even if it means that his friend wins.
Oh, this is
That's
not.
that's what he does. It's a good man.
This is. Hey, this is a big matchup. Let's see. Looking at the league, we can track points scored by week, right?
Is that a bowling shirt or a dashiki?
This is actually this is the new Mycon Bonani's jersey we're trying
Oh,
out.
okay. I
Um,
like it.
let's see. I'm tracking our fantasy production. I have only outscored you one, two, three, four, five times. So far this season, if we went head to head every single week, you would be 7-5, I would be 5-7. But
One
this
of
is the
us is
one.
above
This is the
500.
one week that matters. This is it.
Hey, I'm hitting at a 50% clip and starting to sit. I guarantee you that 50% clip also goes for that boom bust. And we gonna be booming this week, like Metro.
Dang, if I played you last week, I would have squeaked out a 3-point victory. It would have been awesome. Would have been sick.
I love the emphasis from last week. I'm so excited for this week though.
I will see. Well, that's it for first half. We're gonna take a quick break. We'll be keeping an extra close
Bye.
eye on mine and Malcolm's matchup. Because like I said before, this is gonna make or break one of our seasons. Well, it's gonna make or break both of our seasons. We'll
Well, it's
find
gonna break
out.
something.
We'll find out
I
who's
might
gonna
break
make
things.
and who's gonna break. We'll be back after a quick break. Thank you all for listening.
Break.
And we are back with the Bottom Feeders Podcast, episode 5, Carson alongside Malcolm.
Yeah, I'm
And
here.
Malcolm, you kind of got in my head on the first half
I
of the
did.
podcast about the bowling jersey. It kind of really threw me off.
Sometimes you
Uh,
bowl a strike.
Hey, you nailed it there. Well, I try and wear the last few episodes for anyone who watches on YouTube. I try and wear some of my like EDM merch, right? Each episode. Like a few weeks ago. Oh yeah, man. No, it's more like like that heavy
Yeah,
dubstep
I can
shit.
imagine listening to that type of music.
I had Sullivan King on like a few episodes ago. I wore Grizz last week, and I'm trying to wear my girl Closey this week, French DJ.
Diversify.
But without the, yeah, it looks like a bowling jersey now that you mention it, and it's.
Got him.
I know they sell EDM jerseys, and I was kind of curious why they called this one a jersey because it's more of a t-shirt than anything. But now I see it's a fucking bowling jersey that they got me wearing.
Cross with a dashiki. It's fire. I don't
Yeah.
know where you found this cultural apparatus, but it's awesome.
Okay, but I might need to rethink this jersey as an everyday outfit. Uh, Maybe have ruined it for me. But
Ouch.
but on to our next segment. We're going to talk about the real football, right? Our fantasy struggles, our fantasy dreams, nightmares, fumbles. They don't mean much. Sure, they mean a lot emotionally and bragging rights wise, but
Oh, they mean something to me.
right. But they don't mean millions of dollars of financial decisions.
Yeah, no one else cares.
Which is the case for a lot of these NFL coaches. So we like to highlight every week. This is your first time listening. We like to highlight every week some of the NFL coaching fumbles, just to make us feel a little bit better about ourselves. Um, Real quick, Malcolm. So who was your coaching fumble of the week?
Sean McDermott, man. That Thursday night game was
Yeah,
atrocious. Okay, I understand the Texans defense is good, but you can't drop that game. You guys are trying to compete in the AFC. The Chiefs are looking like the Chiefs again. Suddenly, you gotta pick up the surge. You get beat every year in the playoffs. You gotta
well,
figure out
so
how to get some forward momentum in this point in the season before you get there, because you clearly can't create it once you get there. Start
yeah.
chugging.
I mean, I was looking at the box score of that game a few days ago, and like I think the Texans finished with 8 sacks, 3 turnovers. I mean, at what point do you give the credit to the Texans defense or to
D'Amico
the
Ryan.
Bills game
No,
plan?
right now, D'Amico Ryan, shout out to you. You have got that defensive side of the ball playing so well, and it's been multiple years of dominance. Shout
Yeah,
out to you, D'Amico Ryan. You learned
he's
well
doing
in that San
great.
Francisco defensive system. You see Saleh come back to the San Francisco defensive system right now and do well. People don't give enough credit to Shanahan on the defensive side of the ball as well. Okay, he has a bunch of people around him that he believes in and that they obviously believe in what they're able to produce on the field, and they go other places and they replicate it and they have success. Even with the Seahawks coordinator, isn't he also from that Shanahan tree?
Yeah,
McDonald.
yeah. I
He
think
was
so.
their defensive coordinator or something like that too. And yeah, they're having some struggles, but at the same time, you see the Seahawks are stringing it along, having some consistency on the defensive side of the ball, which they hadn't had in years too. And
Yeah.
they don't even have necessarily personnel to have that type of consistency. So that's a
But,
testament to the
but
coaching
yeah, for the
staff.
Bills, I know it's a
Sean
short
McDermott,
week.
what
That's
we
a
doing?
must-win game. The Texans were a 500 team, backup quarterback, I think, and you got to win that game. For me,
Davis
mine's
Mills 4-0 though.
is he actually 4-0 in his starts this
I
year?
believe so.
That's insane.
I
That's
believe so.
nuts if true.
Who's your coaching fumble?
Um, I'm gonna go with maybe second greatest coach I've seen in my lifetime, Mike Tomlin. Um,
How dare
he
you?
he had he had a few
But go
chances.
on.
to win that game against the Bears. But the one, like, he went for it on 4th and 1 in the fourth quarter, and they did their version of like the tight end tush push or whatever you want to call it, which I really don't
With
like.
Gainwell.
Gainwell looked great, but they had the ball, 4th down, 26 seconds to go, I think it was, and it was either go for it on 4th and 6 or send Boswell out there for a game tying, I think it was 64-yard field goal.
How we feeling about it?
Boswell's probably the second best kicker in the league. He made a 60-yarder earlier this year against the Jets. That would have been good from 68, probably, what it looked like. I mean, when you got the second best kicker in the league, I got Brennan Aubrey 1, Chris Boswell 2. Cam Little, sure, he had the record, but like accuracy wise, he's not the best.
All I know is I don't know who I trust in that organization. When you got Mason Rudolph starting for you,
Yeah.
Look,
I
agree
definitely
with
don't
you.
trust.
It's definitely a coaching fumble.
I
Oh my
definitely
God,
don't
the
trust
whole
Mason
organization is
Rudolph
struggling.
on a 4th and 6 in a must-win game. I mean, they went from like being 3 games in first place in the division, a month ago, to now out of the playoffs, losing the
Hey,
division.
I'll tell you what, that Steelers defense, though, it looks like they're all the way back. All the way back. From an
Yeah.
energy perspective, they look like they're ready to go. I don't know if you saw it, but we're talking about fan corner in a little bit. But the Steelers fans were out there having funerals for the Steelers defense. And that's like 60 years of history. So
Yeah,
I'm happy for that
They're
defensive
back.
unit. They seemingly got it together.
Yeah.
So
As long as TJ Watt is healthy, like they're gonna be at least scary. Maybe not great. They're gonna be scary though. They're gonna have that big play ability. But
we
yeah,
don't have time to talk
coaching
about
fumble.
it, but that 49ers team also came back defensively after losing Bosa, similar to the impact TJ Watt has
Yeah,
for the Steelers.
yeah.
So it was a big win for them too, and the Panthers crumbled. Oh gosh,
Yeah, the Panthers playoff hopes left Monday night, but
the Panthers and the Colts are in two divisions where they could win, and they
the
choose not to. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's
the Colts are about to lose a
Inexplicable.
division lead to the Jaguars, which is crazy. But
how you do that? How you do
Like,
that? You started off so hot. Come on,
Yeah.
pick it up. Anyways, let's move on. Let's get it. Fan corner.
Yeah.
Where we at, man? Where we at? How the Jets
Well,
doing? How you feeling about this, man? What's going
Jets,
on?
I mean, at this point, we're just throwing Tyrod Taylor out there and seeing what we got. Like, not much. We lost to the Ravens. We were supposed to lose. We had a halftime
Okay.
lead. Defense
We
played
played
well in the
well.
first half. Like, we played as good as we could have. Like, it's a very good Ravens team. John Mechie looks awesome.
Hey,
His route running's incredible. He gets open. He had that nice
come
touchdown
on now.
catch.
We was talking about it on the show.
Yeah.
Seems like some of the players we discuss on the show end up going on to having some good times. I want to point that
Yeah.
out. But John Mechie overcame cancer. And these football coaches had the nerve to look that man in the eye and say, we don't believe in your ability to play football anymore. Sir,
Chris,
he already came back. After
it-
what he looks like in these first couple weeks, it's unbelievable.
Here's what I'm saying. And this might be crazy, but yeah, not much to say with the Jets. They are what we thought they were. Nothing they'll really look for except for next
They
season.
are what we thought they were. Who
But
are we? What are we
Make
doing?
sure this. A good rookie quarterback.
Okay.
Garrett Wilson, John Mechie.
After the
Mason
Jackson
Taylor.
Sigma season, I definitely believe Garrett Wilson can have an impact next year with a quarterback.
AD Mitchell is the third receiver. Mechie in the slot. Garrett Wilson doing his thing. Like, that's not
You
bad
guys-
sounding. That's not.
You guys might be rounding that corner. I believe in you.
If
What a
Mechie can
great
keep
place
playing,
to be in a fan corner.
if
you
Mechie
know?
can keep playing like that, I mean, we are 2-9.
Rounding
so
the corner.
We're 2-9, and we've lost a lot of bad games. I don't know if
And
it's a good place to
You
be.
got some picks coming. You got some
We got
picks
some
coming
picks
to you.
coming.
It seems like a good place to be. A worse place to be would be having a similar record and no organizational identity or structure.
But you
know?
got Pete Carroll. You got Pete Carroll.
Let's transition. All right.
Let's talk about the Raiders, man. Let's hear it.
We
Big week for the
are
Raiders.
moving from joy to ire to disrespect. Let's delve into the emotions of this week. This week, I watched our defense give everything they got again and still let it not be enough. Fire Chip Kelly. That is what we did this week.
I mean, it's
And you
big.
know what? I hear some people have the nerve and the audacity, the unmitigated gall, to quote Stephen A., to say that we shouldn't have done that when our offense is getting outscored by 60 something points.
I mean, you
No.
should not have hired him in the first place, if you ask me. But
Agreed. Also, shouldn't have made him the highest paid coordinator. Things
was
we
he
did.
actually?
Yes, highest paid
bull.
coordinator in both in
That's
NFL history and in the league this season. I think the market rate was like $10 million.
no way. But yeah,
$10
go
million
off.
dollars of mistakes. But that's just the beginning of mistakes we have made as far as player personnel over the past couple years, whether it's trading away Khalil Mack, whether it's getting rid of Derek Carr in the way in which we did, whether it's hiring Josh McDaniels. The Raiders fans, we are used to you making the wrong organizational decision. Letting go Rich Bisaccia. I don't think he could have been the head coach, but shoot, like, as far as better than Josh McDaniels, I think so. You know who also was better than Josh McDaniels? Antonio Pierce. And you let that man go, walk
Yeah.
out the door for the same result as what you probably might have gotten from Antonio Pierce in this year. I'm not saying he's better than Pete Carroll. That's not the same thing as what I said about McDaniels. But what I'm saying about that is that, you know what, I am tired of us taking these coaches that could have an impact in this on this organization, blaming them for personnel decisions, which frankly is coming from the GM and ownership more than anything else, which they've made some sound decisions as well. So what I would like to see is everybody moving on one accord, one direction, rowing in the same stream in the same direction on the same speed, at having the same shared vision of a destination. That's all we want. Raider Nation is out there. We are hungry. Max Crosby is out there every week. He is hungry. And this might seem like a tirade. This might seem like a needless escapade into a fantasy that is never going to be reality. But I am telling you, we are getting tired and more tired. I watched a video this week of a Raider fan in a store, a hat store, right? And this homie was like, he was looking at different hats. And he's like, 49ers fan? Yeah, nah, that's weird. Nah, I can't do that. No way. Cowboys fan? Absolutely can't do that, right? And like, yes, as Raiders fans, we joke about being other fans, but you know what? I'm also just this. I'm gonna continue the rant as long as we need to. Let me know when,
Go
when
off,
we need
man.
to get
Go
out.
off. Go off.
Chargers fans, I'm talking to y'all. I'm tired of seeing y'all talking smack because y'all definitely number one. Y'all started off the season too hot to be out here talking like y'all talking right now with the mediocrity that y'all are out here putting out every week. Okay, y'all need to be quiet on social media. All right, Chiefs fans, y'all definitely don't need to be pounding your chest. Okay, and Broncos fans.
They earned it.
What the
They earned
hell are
it.
y'all doing? No, what the hell are y'all doing? Y'all not even talking about your defense enough. You over here infatuated with Bo Nix. What's wrong with y'all?
I mean, they're talking about a defense
What's
plenty.
wrong?
Nick,
Not enough. Not
Nick
enough.
Benito's,
Not enough. The greatness of Patrick Surtain was one of the first things we talked about on this podcast, and I said that man was good. He might be the only thing that's holding that defense down on a year-to-year basis. He is the reason why you guys are in the position you guys are in, the position you guys are in. I don't want to hear nothing about Sutton. I don't want to hear nothing about what y'all doing, running the ball. Like, oh, we need to run the ball better. Yes, you do, but you also need to give more credit to that defense every week. Yeah, I brought in the right players and you've done the right things. And also, again, too, you're too loud. You're too loud right now. It's the first year you guys are having an impact and the Chiefs are having a down year. I don't want to hear it. Okay, this does not mean you have a dynasty. You're not winning 5 Super Bowls. All right,
So-
but Raiders fans, Raider Nation, we need to get our stuff together. Everybody collectively is tired. I'm also tired. There's no need for factions within Raider Nation. All right, it's Raider Nation for a reason. We're one nation. Let's move the right direction. Let's have one vision for this future, and let's keep it pushing. Come on, just win, baby. Come on.
So,
An autumn wind. An autumn wind was a winter Raider, something like that. I don't know. Let's go. Mount up.
It was-
regulators.
Here's what I'll say. One, I
My
think
bad. Let's get
they
it.
are getting no. I think they're getting plenty of respect. That Broncos defense, rightfully so. Nick Benito is a top 3 candidate for Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, if it wasn't for Myles Garrett, be the best
Been
defensive
multiple
player.
years.
If it wasn't for Myles Garrett,
Him
be
and
the
Zach
best
Bond.
Defensive Player of the Year I've ever seen in my life.
And Robert Spillane too. They've had a lot of impact from that linebacker position, similar to some of the ones we had growing up, like
Sure.
Jonathan Vilma. You know,
Jonathan Vilma, shout out that Jets
Yeah.
legend, but everyone views him as a saint now or whatever. But he was a Jets legend first.
oh, that's because I think they won. He was on that Super Bowl team.
Yeah,
Was he
yeah, yeah,
not?
but so he's Jets.
2009.
He's Jets. Surtain's won Defensive Player of the Year last year, I think. So like, yeah, Miles Garrett should have
They're
won.
on that track. They're on that
Like they're
track.
getting plenty of respect, and rightfully so. Um,
One day we'll have to talk about who's a bigger bottom feeder, TJ Watt or Sertan for stealing from Miles Garrett so
here's
often.
here is the one thing I will say about the Raiders firing Chip Kelly. Over the last 10 years, Chip Kelly has been fired by two NFL franchises. He has been fired by the Eagles and he has been fired by the 49ers. Both those teams, after firing him, made it to the Super Bowl twice. Twice.
Are
So
we going to the Super Bowl?
maybe in a few years. I mean, it took the Eagles a few years to recover. It took the
No,
Niners a
no,
few
no.
years to
That's what I
recover.
heard. I appreciate you. This was a matter of fact. Let's move. Let's move.
Yeah,
Let's groove.
what I'm trying to say is, look, I know it's sometimes you need to hire Chip Kelly, let him show you what not to do, and then within a few years, you know what not to do. You rebuild, you make the Super Bowl. We saw the Eagles do it, 2018, I think they won, whatever that year was. That you saw the Niners do it. Sure, they lost to the Chiefs twice, but they fired him, I think, in 2016, and boom, within a 5 years, they're there. So sometimes you gotta take the bad of Chip Kelly, learn what not to do, and that's the recipe for success, almost, right? Right?
Carson, I have a much more optimistic outlook now. We fired Chip Kelly, which means we are guaranteed to be in the Super Bowl soon.
Yeah, that's it. 5 years within the next 5 years.
Everything is okay. The other thing I was going to say, which I got so deep into the rant that I forgot, although the online chatter was getting pretty annoying from a week to week basis. Geno Smith. Hey, man, relax. Like Aaron Rodgers might once say. Every week in these press conferences, you are showing less and less leadership. Okay. It's okay, man. We get it. It's not going the way you
Let's not
wanted it to.
expect. Let's
I
not
know you were right,
sit
wrote a
here.
letter to the fan base, right? I'm not putting it on your shoulders. It's never been all on your shoulders. You don't have to absorb all this media attention and all this critique. So,
Let's not
Jano,
sit here and pretend Geno Smith
it's
is a good
okay.
leader or has ever been a good leader. Let's not forget this is the
Shout out
same
to IK
quarterback.
and Polly. I know
Exactly.
exactly where you're going, sir.
There's a quarterback that 10 years ago got punched in the jaw by his own teammate, right? He's not a good leader. He's not expected to be. And I think to kind of put that pressure on him, which the
He put it
Raiders,
on himself. He wrote a letter to the fan base and to the organization. Do you remember that? That's what
I
I'm
do
saying. Like
remember that. Yeah.
nobody did this to Gino. This is
But
like when people are talking about Shador being the underdog, and it's like it's not actually an underdog story. There are definitely detractors, and I don't agree with the detractors in the way they're going about their detraction.
no,
But
here's
Gino,
one
can't
quick
do this to yourself. Go ahead.
quick side note before we log off and call it an
Yeah.
episode. I want to you mentioned Shador Sanders. His interview after the game.
Mm.
It's been getting a lot of chatter on online. To your point, what are your thoughts on it? Did you see? Did you watch it?
I did. I've seen multiple clips now. Look, every week it's something with whatever he says after the game, and now he's playing. So I
Yeah.
care less and less as he continues to play about what is made of what he says after the game, so long as they keep winning on the field during the games.
Here's my thing. I don't mind the message what he's saying. Right. I don't mind him
I
being
never
like,
have.
I'm like, hey man, this was
I
me
don't know
with a
about
week.
you.
This is me with. I never minded it. I thought. Remember,
Yeah.
like earlier in the year when he like refused, like he like pretended to
I really
talk and he
like
just
this.
like mimed words to the media because he was like, whatever you say, you're gonna twist against me. Oh, that was hilarious. I thought that was fucking awesome. But yeah, literally, yeah. Miming words. It was great. But I think his message was spot on. Like, damn, this was me after a week of practice as a starter. Imagine me after a whole off season. Like, that's perfect. That's the perfect message. But just like say it a little bit better. Because I think I don't know, he's clearly not on the same page as a lot of his receivers, right? Um, Jerry Judy and him are not on the same page. Cedric Tillman and him aren't on the same page. I mean, if you take away the 70-yard screen pass touchdown to Dylan Sampson, he really didn't have a good game. I'll say it. So that's the thing is like if you're bragging about like this was me after 1 week, you gotta play a little better. You gotta play a little bit better to be able to say that. And I don't think he played that good against a very questionable Raider secondary. I don't think he played that good. He had one screen pass for like 70 yards and a touchdown. Take away that, he had 130 yards, one interception, no touchdowns. That's not that good. Like I'll say it. Well, if you're gonna be that I don't want to say cocky because I think it's good when quarterbacks are cocky. If you're gonna be that confident after the game, you gotta play a little bit better. That's my one thought. That's my one thought on
And
it.
for the Spotify audience, I was mouthing the words in response to Carson that entire time. But I agree wholeheartedly.
Like,
Absolutely. You have to be a little bit better. One of the things I mouthed was that was basically a Mason Rudolph performance at his peak, where he gives you 150 something yards, maybe a
yeah,
touchdown. And so essentially, you're peaking as a backup quarterback. And
yeah.
that's not what you want to be protesting to or prophesizing to the whole league that is your future as a backup. So
Let me
get better.
just let me just correct myself. Let me just make sure I'm right before I like, yeah. So he had a 66-yard touchdown on a screen pass. Take away that, he
Shout
finished
out to
with
Dylan Sampson, who I think were released earlier in the season for roster by
oh, I
reasons.
added him this week. He, he
Yeah,
he might
fuck
start
him.
for me this week. Who knows? Against you.
He's really good. I would
But
do that. I drafted him, I believe.
I want to get a Browns fan on here because I want to hear their fan corner checking because I'm really
So
curious what a real
next
Browns
week,
fan thinks about it.
guaranteed, we will have at least a Giants fan, maybe a Titans fan, if we can find them. They're somewhere under a rock right now, I know, but we'll look. And yeah, we got to get a Browns fan. Cleveland, we
I'm
are going to
I'm just
geotag the
curious.
show
Like
on YouTube this week so you guys can find us, but we want to hear from you.
I'm just curious, Cleveland. Are you excited? Are you worried? Because if you
What's going on?
take away that one pass, he finished 10 completions, 19 attempts, not good. 163 yards the whole game,
Okay.
not great. Zero touchdowns, one interception. If you take away that one screen pass, like that's not
I
a good
don't
game.
like that. I don't like
Like,
that. Yeah.
and I'm like, if you're gonna talk all that shit after the game, great, you won, awesome. You beat a 2-8 Raider team where
Ouch.
you had one good play where the running back and your lineman did everything.
It did a lot.
Like I don't know. I trust me. I believe in Shador. I think he's going to be amazing in this league. But let's maybe hold off talking all that shit until you start producing more.
I think it's because we believe in Shador. We wanted to hold off and talking all that shit.
Yeah, right. Like I'm dude. Every dynasty league
Protect
I'm in,
yourself, young man, at all
every
times. That's
dynasty
what we
league
tell
I'm
all the
in,
boxers.
I have him stashed on my taxi squad. Like I'm ready to
Hang out.
rock with him. I believe in him. I think the Browns in a few years are going to be amazing. But
So,
we saw this with Johnny Manziel in Cleveland.
I think Cleveland needs to hold off. My hand looks really cool. It's the only reason why I'm holding it out like that, you know. But
Picturing you in the car, like,
it's like a noir film, you know. I feel like a detective. We're on the case of the Cleveland quarterback.
yeah,
But I think everything all in all said, the Browns are trending in the right direction. I would love to hear from the Cleveland fans. It's been a great fan
yeah,
corner. Raider Nation, I want to hear from you too, but like only when you're ready.
yeah. And hey, if you are a Browns fan or a Titans fan or a
Bottom
Bengals fan,
feeders.
email us. It's right at the bottom of the screen here, maybe up there. I don't know where it's going to be. Bottomfeederspod@gmail.com. Email us your fan corner rants. Email us your start sit questions, and we'll give you 44% good advice if you ask me.
It's
Email
pretty good.
us your own dreams for the week, and we can judge you while we judge ourselves. But
Oh,
yep,
I'll be
that's it.
judging.
Episode 5 is in the books. Malcolm, any last words for the people?
See you next week.
See
Hey,
you.
after I defeat you, after I vanquish you,
Oh yeah.
I'll
Next
call you.
week.
I
Next week
will.
we're gonna have maybe I was thinking maybe we'll do a live episode Monday night. If we
Okay.
can figure out technology as we watch
Yeah,
Drake May
yeah.
and
I like the
Travion
way that
Henderson.
sounds.
Drake May and Travion Henderson try and close
We
the
should put
gap.
a little wager on it that we might discuss the result of uh on a Monday if we
Yeah,
do
yeah.
do something. Yeah.
That's so we'll see what happens. Huge week for us again. Both of us 6-6. Loser probably out of the playoffs. Winner,
Pay
who
close
knows?
attention to Carson's attire next week, everyone.
Hey, whoa, whoa, whoa. All right. Well, we'll see you guys next week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, whatever it
Peace.
is. We appreciate you listening. Have a good weekend, guys.
Bye, y'all. Like and subscribe.